and I'll be like, and hello and welcome to another episode of Paddy Ponders on Fingers on Plastic. I know you've not seen me for a while, folks. The first thing I'm going to say, right, is there are videos coming, okay? There are, Simon. I know that you keep on moaning about the videos, okay? I know. I'm sorry. I've just moved house, trying to renovate, as you can see. There's lots of very bland corners in the background there. And I, today, have a very special guest. It's Greg. Greg from PrimeTime Toyz. Hello, dude.
Hi, Paddy.
Right, so myself and Greg are going to have a chat about what's been happening, what has happened, what are we doing now, what the future is for PrimeTime Toyz and for Paddy and Greg. So, Greg, hello, dude. How are you?
The future of Paddy and Greg, eh? People are wondering now, aren't they?
It's like a really bad sitcom, isn't it?
Like One Division Part 2.
That's it. Yeah. Still a Killy fan, you know, but look, we digress. Right, Greg, listen. Start it off, buddy. You tell me what's going on. What's happening?
Yeah, so I've been quiet offline for a wee bit. Basically, since you left the business, which was, believe it or not, the end of March 2021. So that's on a year. So in that time, I have been focused on other things which don't relate to toys. So many of you know I was an accountant by background, and I kind of left my employment to kind of go full time into PrimeTime Toyz. And at that point, kind of things were looking good. And then they took a wee nosedive, weren't looking so good in the back of Brexit, yada, yada, yada. So what I ended up doing was going back into accounting, but I'm fortunate enough to be in a position where I did that self-employed. So was doing toys self-employed, now doing accounting self-employed, and therefore I really can't complain because that is what I wanted. I wanted to be out of employment, living the dream, being my own boss, setting in my own terms, and all of that good stuff, which I know makes me a very lucky guy. In the meantime, family life has been hectic. We had a lockdown bouncing baby boy in April of 2020. So he's coming up 2. So that's kept me very busy. So essentially, Toys has been, but the other business has been taking up all of my time, and family has been keeping me busy too. So that's not been bad.
So you've sort of replaced one baby with another, because I've left and you've still got the wee man. So arguably probably got the same height as well. But listen,
give him another year and then he'll be taller than me.
Yeah, he'll be taller. Yeah, he'll be taller. Well, I was having a conversation with another YouTuber not too long ago, and we were talking about what I was up to. So I'll tell him what I told you, and I'll tell everybody else. I moved back to London, haven't been up in sunny Glasgow with you. I'm back doing my old job, as I was. I didn't think I would miss that line of work as much as I did until I went back, I have to say. I've settled in back fine. It's like I never left. I have a new house that I'm looking at here. I have a house and a room full of boxes. Look at that. Loads of boxes. So all my toys are pretty much sitting in boxes, and I can't do an awful lot with them until I finish renovating the house, and then I can get my cabinets up. So I'll probably be calling on PJ. Hello, PJ. And getting the cabinets up and getting myself sort of back online, so to speak. It's been a crazy year. I can't believe it's been, 12 months? Oh my God, that's just, it's scary to think that it's been that long. I don't regret any of it. I just had this conversation, as I said, with another fella, and I loved my 7 months, was it? I was up there 7 months, and we had an absolute blast. Brexit probably turned us over a bit, and it didn't happen and didn't get to work, unfortunately. But, you know, I did get some really, really good dinners. Your missus makes amazing food, man. So I hope you realise how spoilt you are, because I've just had fish fingers and chips for dinner. So, you know, I bet you didn't. But look, things are okay. Things are fine. I miss Scotland greatly. I miss your family. I miss the kids massively. I haven't played Monopoly in ages. And that side of things, I think I miss even more than the toys, because I've been working so much. I haven't had time to be lonely. But I do miss you and the family massively. But that's it. Back to it. And there's going to be a few people on the channel that are going to be asking you, Mr. McNally, some questions about PrimeTime Toyz. So if I was them, my first question to you would be, is PrimeTime Toyz still running? What's the plan? What's the future with it? What do you think?
So when you knew that you were coaching, at that point we kind of talked to people and said, boys, we are just going to kind of wait and see what happens. Now, unfortunately, in terms of PrimeTime Toyz, it kind of had two different groups. It had UK and it had the private group. Now, if you were in that group, you'll know about it. If you weren't and you're watching this on YouTube, you'll have no idea what I'm talking about, but you don't need to worry about that. That group is unfortunately going. We were hoping that we might be able to kind of come back to that and make things work, but it just doesn't. And being like, just for a wee kind of recap for anybody who wonders what the hell I'm talking about, we had a group of about 250 buyers, which is really the kind of original foundations of what PrimeTime Toyz was kind of built on. So these 250 people would buy toys from me. I would take the money and I would find those toys for them out of China, and they would be shipped into the UK directly from China under a term called drop shipping. And unfortunately, just with a number of things, including Brexit, shipping fees, taxation rules, lots and lots changed from January 2021. They've not got better, they've not gone away. And for example, I'm now VAT registered. My turnover went above the limits, meaning that every pound I take, 20% of that goes to the VAT man, which is fine, that's life, and that's how other businesses are doing it. But it also does mean that the drop shipping model doesn't particularly work very well, because for every pound I take, even with the drop shipping, would also be liable to VAT. And anybody importing from China knows how they love taking that gamble on whether they're going to pay VAT or not. So the business model of guaranteeing you pay VAT isn't a very exciting or attractive one to the buyers, so we decided to kind of put a halt on the Chinese dropshipping from Brexit. So I've effectively kind of stopped doing that, but that ultimately meant the group has been really kind of dormant. It's been ticking along, not a lot's been happening, and ultimately the question is it coming back? Well, I'm afraid not. It's not coming back, and I'll be shutting it from the end of September, and basically either closing the group, or I might hand it over to other people if they want to do like a PrimeTime kind of chat room. A few people have asked me if I would keep it open as a social group. I'm not opposed to that idea, but you know, I wouldn't want to kind of be running that as an admin because I've got too many other things on that I'm juggling. So if anybody wanted it, they'd be welcome to it, but if anybody does, then I'll just shut the doors. The only reason I'm keeping it open is to fulfill some pre-orders that other people couldn't, like the people might have lost out on. So for example, Fans Toys, if you had a Fans Toys Tesla 2.0 Perceptor and it was sold out everywhere and you couldn't get a copy, and then I just shut the doors and said bye guys, then I would feel like the bad guy, because then you are left without a toy and I'm left with extra toys, and because I brought them into the UK, they'll be liable to VAT and I can't really be competitive in price. So I've kept the group open just to make sure that those sales can be transferred to the Chinese supplier. So it's not my income, it's not my money, I've just helped put people in touch and actually get their toy. What I should say though is PrimeTime Toyz will stay open in terms of the UK stuff. This is an important bit. The business isn't going away. It's going to remain here, but what it's going to do is all of the stock is getting imported into the UK, getting cleared for taxes, and I'm just going to ship it from the UK, VAT paid, corporation tax paid, yada yada yada, all of that fun stuff. But it means the prices are going to be a lot higher than they would have been. So I don't want to do that through the group, because if I can't be competitive and I can't beat or at least match the prices of Kapow and Omega Lock, then I don't want to be selling to people who feel obliged to buy out of loyalty or friendship or anything like that. I'm not interested in that. I'd rather not have the sale. And that's the reason I've never moved that side of the business into that group, because I just don't actually feel that's morally, ethically right to do that. A lot of people look at what I do and say, well, why does he charge more? Why doesn't he match Kapow's prices? Well, the answer to that is I could match Kapow's prices, but the margin per toy would be particularly small. So being honest with you, if I'm selling 10 units a week at such a margin, 10 times that margin, it's not worth my time. So why would I bother doing it? Kapow can do it because they're not selling 10 toys a week, or they're selling 100 toys a week, maybe 300 toys a week. I've got no idea what Kapow do. But the model that they work on is based on volume. And they can take a volume of, let's say, a £5 a toy. You multiply that by 300 toys and you've got an actual business. You multiply that by 10, 20, 30. You don't even have a hobby. And you don't have the time. Yeah. I end up looking at my margins and saying, right, well, I'll generally be, let's say, £15, £20 more than Kapow. And that's because I just can't match what Kapow are doing. I also suspect, but I don't know, that Kapow are getting the stuff cheaper than I can get it. And quite rightly, because again, that's back to business. If they're buying multiple volumes of what I'm buying, then they should be able to get it cheaper. And not just Kapow, I keep naming them and the Mega Lock, but any big business, they'll be bigger than PrimeTime Toyz. So I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to keep shipping from the UK. I've got the webpage, I've got the eBay. I will keep bringing in toys which are hardest to find. So I guess that's good news if you are not overly price sensitive and willing to pay the extra little bit, and there's a toy which you missed out in a pre-order, then it should be available on my webpage.
Yeah, and I'll add to that bit about you're talking about prices and time value of money, that you probably were sick of hearing me say those words when I was up with you. But that's exactly it. And the last person online I was talking to, I mentioned the same thing. I said, PrimeTime Toyz, our aim was to be able to be competitive and bring toys in, new toys that people could buy off us that would be a competitive rate, that we wouldn't be hiking prices up, in order to be getting late tax. That wasn't our model. There was enough people doing that. We wanted to be able to sell toys at a competitive rate to enough people. But unfortunately, the way the cookie crumbled financially as a business model, a working business model, especially full time, it just wasn't working, But maybe part time, But I think it's important that PrimeTime Toyz is staying open, not only for my sanity, but also for the fact that there is a market. I think there's still a market out there for people to be picking up late toys, that I call them, stuff that you think, oh, I've seen that on, or Simon did a review of XTB Perceptor and now I've decided I really want it, but there's no sign of them on Kapow's, no sign of them on a Mega Lock. Well, Greg might have a few, and it's worth that extra few quid to jump on it.
And if I jump in at that point, again, being honest, some people are going to criticise me for this, and I understand that, and you can have your view on life and you can say I'm a bad guy. What I'm not doing, right, I'm not taking pre-orders, right? It's an interesting concept, but I've decided if I take a pre-order, then I need to be even more competitive, and it's a race to the bottom. That's point number one. Point number two is I don't have time for Transformers pre-orders anymore, because a lot of it takes up time with communication. The Transformers community is quite savvy but they can be very hungry for information and news. And what I would find, and you'll know this too, Paddy, what we would find is there would be lots of messages saying, what's the latest on Tesla 2.0? When are you getting it? And it would be okay if it was a wee one-off, but you then multiply that by kind of 10, 20 people asking the same question. And yeah, if you're listening, then you say, well, why don't you just put out a message to try and answer that question? But that's not what the business was. We weren't there as a public broadcast service announcement of telling people what the latest news and dates are. So you would generally try to answer people as the messages came in. And I thought, no, life and family. I'm building my other business, the accounting business, and I don't have time. And it's not fair to take people's money and then blank them when they're kind of asking you for an update on something that they've actually ordered with you and paid. So I decided not to take the pre-orders, but just coming back to your point, a mega lock, and maybe not so much Kapow these days, but a mega lock like just this weekend launched Jive, which is their fans' toys. I think it might have even been last weekend. But as far as I know, they're sold out, right? So they're sold out now, and we're sitting in January 2022. I believe the release date for that is going to be January 2023.
If we're lucky.
So that's an interesting point, because there could be people who might want that toy, but didn't know they wanted it today. But come June, July, or certainly by January 2023, they've joined the game, and they're now thinking, damn, I wish I got that. But the pre-order was sold out a year before the toy comes out, so what hope did they ever have? So by running it the way I've got it, yes, I'm not going to be the cheapest. But it's going to be available at the time the toys come out, and hopefully that'll kind of give me a wee gap in the market.
The only thing I would say is that that's a huge difference. That market style is a massive, massive difference than a latex market style, because I keep on saying that. So no latex, PrimeTime Toyz, just a cost of living and storing while it's there waiting for someone to pick it up. But look, as I said before, it's been fantastic. I wouldn't change it for a second. Someone else asked me last week. They said, you know, oh, it failed, you didn't make it. And I was like, well, I don't see it as failing. I just think it's not working out. And you know, I can put on a good Scottish accent now, which is good. And you know, I have a property in Scotland still. And you know, one day you might get sick of me because I might be your neighbour again. You never know.
I know. People say to me, oh, do you ever talk to Paddy anymore? And I think they kind of realise that we probably talk to each other as much as we used to, certainly before you moved here. Obviously, we talk to each other as much as we did when you were actually in the bloody town, but certainly as much as we did before you moved up here. Still nattering and moaning about football every day to each other.
Yeah, well,
we've got lots to moan about.
Yeah, well, between our three teams, mate, there's not an awful lot. Well, four teams, there's not an awful lot going on, is there? But look, yeah, we'll pass on the football, because there's lots of people on here that be going, what's that? Why are they talking about?
Positive note. Well, I don't know if we're ending, but to move on something we've talked about is, can we get Paddy back into PrimeTime Toyz? And what's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are, yes, I would go back tomorrow. If you said to me, you know, Paddy, there's a magic wand there, wave it, and what will it look like if you waved your magic wand? I think I would need to stay in my current job, because I think it's who I am. And as much as I moan about it, and as much as I complain and say things like that, you know, it's in my blood, and you know, helping people helps me, and it's something I've always wanted to do. And I worry that I don't think I could be any good or as good at anything apart from what I do currently for a living. So I'd say, yeah, absolutely. If I could transfer to Scotland and do the same job, I almost let it slip there. If I could transfer to Scotland and do the same job, and we got a chance to run the company part-time, so we weren't, you know, stressing about paying a mortgage with funds, but really, you know, trying to build a business and have it as a second income, then I would be banging on your door tomorrow morning, if that was possible.
I'll be waiting for that chat at the door. Frank about it. I'm now running PrimeTime Toyz as a part-time job. My main focus is on my other business, which is just the way it needs to be. But I don't want to give up the toys because I enjoy it too much. So I'm keeping that going, and it would be much more fun to do it with you back in the town. Doing your own job, we both do our own jobs, and then we'd kind of like find a way in a part-time basis to bring it all together and actually kind of get back to where we left off.
Yeah, well, you know, it's not beyond the realms of possibility. Maybe not for a while. I think I'd need to maybe grab a cheeky promotion here before I head back up, so I wouldn't be scrambling for overtime. So I could spend slightly more time eating your wife's dinners. That'd be the plan. So basically, if I did move up there, you'd just have another child, except one that ate an awful lot more. But listen, have you got anything else that you want to shout to me?
No, I'll shout at you enough. Nothing to shout to you.
Okay.
No, thank you for having me on.
It's been great, mate. It's been good. And I'm loving the t-shirt, by the way. Loving it. There's no Optimus Prime in there, though.
No.
But you do have a Megatron.
It's all the bad guys.
All the bad guys. Yeah, I'll take that. Listen, folks, myself and Greg just wanted to pop on just to have a few words, have a chat, and kind of publicly let you know what was going on with PrimeTime Toyz and ourselves, etc., etc. As for me, I'll be back on the channel full time very, very soon. I am in the middle of making one video. I think it's a New Age Optimus Prime I was looking at, and I just can't get any lighting in this place. It's driving me crazy. So I'm going to have to get some lighting and bring it in, and then you'll be sick of the face of me. I'll be back. So listen, we're going to sign off. Thanks for having us, and stay tuned for some more videos coming up really soon, and we shall see you later. Say bye, Greg.
See you later.
Bye, guys. See ya.
Fine.
I am recording. This is me recording. Hello, Simon. How you doing? Huh? Did you miss my face?
It's plastic, isn't it? So that basically means you're the host.
I'm the host, am I?
Well,
welcome to another episode of Camp Paddy with Camp Paddy.
It used to be PrimeTime TV, which would mean I was the host, but no, now it's you.
Oh, it is, yeah, because this is going to go on. Do you want this on your channel or our channel?
I don't want to. I don't consider myself to have a channel anymore.
Right, so it's going to. So I'll be the host.
Yeah, it goes on Fingers and Plastic if you guys are happy to do it that way.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Then we can put a link up.
Okay, I will have to be slightly camp then, but not massively camp. All right. So should we go in? All I'll do is I'll just reel us in and explain a bit what we're doing. Hang on.
How did you get that background? Because I want a background.
Oh, if you click in the middle, there is a little button that says change background.
Click in the middle of what?
Oh.
Maybe it's just on the laptop.
Yeah, because I'm on laptop, you say.
Ugh.
So I get these buttons.
Oh, yeah. And Simon, for the record, because I know you're now seeing that comes around the edit, I know that I'm in portrait mode, and we spent about 10 minutes before we started to record trying to get it in landscape mode, and we couldn't, and we did try to phone you, so apologies in advance.
Yeah, we're not sorry, we're just trying to wind you up. But, yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so, in 3...
Hang on, my phone fell. This is the problem when it's in portrait mode. It's very unstable. So let me just try and fix that again.
Do they have the power? Hey! You know he's going to use this as a cut-off at the end of the video.
Absolutely.
And I'll be like, and etc. etc.
What am I going to do here? I need to like put a layer of something that'll what can I use? Give me a second. There we go. That will not
Better?
follow. I just need to.
I'm wondering, should I get rid of the background if we're going to do the channel? Should I just have it as normal?
What do you normally have?
Just nothing.
I'm trying to sit with my head with that baby thing in the background, so it's not just people looking at a random baby. So it's not even Mitchell.
Random baby.
Okay.
Go. Still recording. All right. 3, 2, 1.
Fingers on plastic.